it really hit me that in this world that we're living in currently, with everything going on, everyone's actually starting to struggle. And I know that might be like, oh, like, of course they are, no wonder. And, you see all these stats and things of people going on and struggling and not having emergency funds and savings and being in debt. Of course you're like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I get that. But like once you actually start to see it from day to day people that you talk to on a daily basis or pretty frequently, and you start noticing or they actually be honest with you and tell you what they're struggling with, it actually gives you a different perspective in my opinion, because it actually makes me think like, man, like, this person is actually struggling as well too. And it usually could end up being a person who's a little bit more successful than you, might work a job that you think is like makes a lot of money more than you, and even those type of people could still be struggling, or working paycheck to paycheck. And so it kind of gives me a different motivation of myself too when it comes to that, because of course we all does, well, I don't want to say we all, but at least for me and like certain people, I feel like if you're watching this video, desires to become debt free, or if you are debt free now, to stay debt free and to not have all these bills and debts upon you. And you know when that comes, it makes you realize, hey, not everybody is there or desires to be there, is able to get there right now. And so I just think about my life and realizing like, man, like, you know my life ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. I'll be thinking about stuff with my car and my car payment and stuff, and I see other people, they car payment could be like $600-700, so it could be a lot more. And it just puts it all in perspective, really seeing the difference and what could really happen in this life and what's causing all these things to happen. And that can just be a multitude of things. When it comes to the economy, it comes to what car you got, how are you, spending your bills? Do you know what budgeting even is? Are you looking at that stuff? Like all that stuff plays a factor, and it can definitely derail you if not used correctly. And so I just mainly look at it like that, to be at my best self and to make sure that I'm doing the right things daily. I'm so locked in right now. I'm paying off this car and this journey and just trying to get as much money as I can to get this out, because I really do want this car payment to be out of my life. And hopefully I'll never have to get a car payment ever again in my life. But if I do, it will definitely be for a very cheap car that, you know, is just there. It's not going to be anything crazy. It's going to be something small, something that gets me from point A to point B. Because right now, I want my money to be used for other things. You know what I mean? I want to travel more. I want to invest more. I want to go on dates more with my girlfriend. All these things are all byproduct, and I can do more of these things once I don't have a car payment. Now, granted, am I still doing all these things? Yes, I am. However, I'll be able to do a lot more, and I'll be able to give to others as well, give presents, give gifts, a lot more without this car payment. So I'm very excited for that, for this next journey, to be able to get there. And for now, we're gonna get paying it off. Definitely have another video series where I'll talk about paying off my car, giving updates and stuff like that. But when it comes to everyone else in this world, it makes you really think about just what's going on here and how you want to escape it, escape the cycle of others, and not be like everybody else. I've always thought about that, being different from everybody else and not following the same path, making sure that you're doing the right things and having the right decisions. And part of that is financially, having the right financial habits, not doing anything outlandish, things that can derail you 5 years from now, because that can be a huge factor and that can be a big reason for people, as well as like living below your means. I mean, I feel like it all comes down to that at the end of the day, making sure you have money that's above the money that you're spending, at the end of the day, every month, making sure you have just more money. And that can be a huge thing, but that's really all it comes down to. And so you just have to really focus on that, making sure that you're doing the right things possible, because I feel like this economy is only going to get worse. And of course, it might, die down here and there eventually. But right now, gas has gone up more. Groceries are still pretty high. Cars are over the top. Debts are out of control. Credit cards are getting better. All these different things are happening. And so as things continue to get worse, we need to be better as people. And it sucks that the, wages and raise of money is not counteracting with the inflation of things going on. That's just how it is in our economy, and we can't let that derail us. We got to keep moving forward regardless, and just trying to do the best things we have. I was talking to someone the other day, telling them like how I can't blame them for having two jobs. I know a person who works every day at a full time job, working with me Monday through Friday. We work together, and then they have a weekend job, Saturday and Sunday. They work 7 days a week. And I asked them like, man, 7 days a week, two jobs, that can be a lot. And they told me like, yeah, it can be, but this economy, that's the only thing they can do to really make sure that they're making ends meet and doing everything. And that sucks to have to, be that way, but I can't blame them. Right now in this economy, doing two jobs. You know what I mean? I definitely tried the two jobs thing. I wouldn't mind to do it again, but I wouldn't be able to do it forever. It would only be able I could only do it honestly for like 1 to 2 months. So I wouldn't be able to do it that much, but I guess it depends on the job. And, other people have different ways of things they want to do it. But for me, in my one job, pays enough for me to still be able to pay off debt and still live my life. So I'm grateful for that. I definitely still plan to, increase my income eventually with another job. So definitely on the lookout for that. But for now, I'm good where I'm at. And everyone's just going through it. We're all just here on this earth with uncertainty and things, but we got to keep in mind that there's always going to be a God out there who's there to help us and there to be there for us. And he told us already that we'll have tough times and, we'll go through adversity and things of that, and storms will hit. But as long as you lay your head and your foundation on the rock, you'll be fine. And in this term, the rock is Jesus Christ. So just remember that. Keep that in your head and pray about it. If you're going through something, pray about it. Talk to God. Have him talk to you. It'll be important.